Hi class. So now that you've completed your rhetorical analysis, it's time to move on to the argument project. This will be the final paper in your portfolio and show the rhetorical awareness that you've learned from the first two papers and apply them to the final one. First, let's highlight some of the skills that you've learned from the rhetorical analysis paper. You've learned how to create a clear argument in the form of a thesis. This skill will be necessary as you move to the argument project as well. You've learned to support your points with evidence. While this evidence was from one text, now you may use multiple sources or texts to support a claim. You've also learned how to introduce and integrate sources, as well as decide when you need to summarize, paraphrase, or quote. All of these things will be useful in your next essay. In terms of organization, the rhetorical analysis allowed you to learn how to write topic sentences, and now you'll want to make sure that each topic sentence has a clear argumentative purpose. You'll also use transitions to connect each part of your argument to build an overall major claim. Of course, this paper will use the same MLA format, and you have a rhetorical awareness of what format and content are appropriate for the academic discourse community. You'll want to, of course, continue to use this in this paper. Overall, while your purpose is a little different, the same techniques that you used in the rhetorical analysis will be refined as you write this last paper. In order for you to understand the difference in purpose, we need to talk about what an argumentative essay is. While the rhetorical analysis asks you to look at how a text is constructed, you are now constructing your own essay that has a purpose in persuading a reader of a particular viewpoint. It needs to answer any question or prompt that your instructor includes, but it also needs to be an argument. However, this doesn't mean to be vague, but instead to find a specific angle that you can argue within the scope of the paper. Your instructor may also have requirements about what class texts may or may not be used, as well as requirements for outside sources. Make sure you check with them about the requirements. Insight is always an important element for your paper, and while academic writing may seem a bit dry, it doesn't need to be, and the best usually isn't. You need to make sure that you bring in new insights and viewpoints. Several questions you can ask yourself to help challenge your ideas and chosen topic are this. Why this topic now? Why is this important, and why might your instructor need to consider this, or your audience might need to consider this right now? Who might be persuaded by this argument? Why is this an urgent subject? Why is this matter something that needs to be considered at this moment again? And where is this relevant? What specific area, location, subject matter, or even geography? As you develop your thesis, there are two major elements, the rationale and qualifier, that can help structure your thesis. The rationale gives the reasons behind your argument. It's often symbolized by the because statement. For instance, you may argue mentors are often tough on heroes in the journey because through challenging them, this allows the hero to grow. If you notice the because, this gives the reasons that the author will then explore in that thesis throughout the rest of the paper. The qualifier allows you to give context or to acknowledge an alternate viewpoint through counterargument. This is often suggested by the although phrase. For instance, although mentors may seem unusually harsh and cruel, this is a necessary characteristic in epic stories so that heroes can be challenged and grow. Again, this starts to show here's why we might think one thing, but here's the meaning and purpose behind that. As you go through your paper, there are a few tips to start to consider your topic for an argumentative essay. First, make sure you go back and check out the previous forms and notes that you've taken on the text. Highlight what might be interesting to you. Free write or brainstorm ideas about the text, and consider your expertise. This can always give you a good starting point. The more you're interested or passionate about the topic, the better your writing will be. And again, if you have any questions, make sure to contact your instructor.